Hello, believers, non-believers, and everyone in between. You're listening to Stories with Sapphire. I am Sapphire Sandalo. Now get cozy and open your mind because it's story time. The Face in the Car, submitted by Mary. For context, Greece is a very, very Christian country. Everyone here is baptized Orthodox as babies, and all our lives we are raised to believe in God. As a country, we don't have any local legends or stories about evil spirits in the same way Japan, Mexico, or the Philippines have. Sure, we have a ton of haunted places, but we believe that if you don't visit them and if you go to church regularly, evil cannot find you. That makes me even more terrified of what I've experienced, even though it might be considered mild in comparison to other stories I've heard in your podcast. My first encounter takes place in the summer 1 year ago. I was 21 at the time and extremely stressed with my university exams coming up. I remember clearly that it was Sunday, and the sun had set, but it wasn't too late into the night. My mom and my brother were out with their friends, and I was studying in my room. At some point, I decided it was time to prepare dinner, so I went to the kitchen. My house's layout is kind of strange. When you enter from our front yard, you face the kitchen and the living room, and going down the hall is my mom's room. Then the hall takes a turn and continues down to my room, my brother's room, and the bathroom where the house ends. It's kind of like an upside-down L shape. So as I'm turning the corner to go to the kitchen, I hear a car parking in our parking space in the yard, and I think, oh, okay, mom's home. So I continue walking, and I go to the fridge to take the food out. At this point, my back is facing the kitchen window and our front door. Then I heard it. Mary. My name, in my mom's voice, coming simultaneously from directly next to my ear and the front door. I got chills. I turned to answer her, but when I opened my mouth to speak, I couldn't get a word out, as if something was blocking my voice, but like not in a bad way, but as if it was trying to protect me. And then I looked out the window. Our car wasn't in the yard. My mom wasn't home. So I decided to do what I thought was the wisest thing at the moment. I went back to my room. The front door is always locked when I'm home alone because we have thieves in my area. And I decided to call my mom. I was hoping to hear her phone ring from outside, but nope, nothing. When she picked up, she confirmed that she was still with her friends. Like I said, we really don't believe in the paranormal here, so I just brushed it off thinking it was just my mind playing tricks on me because of the exam stress. Later that night, my actual mother and my brother came home, and eventually we all went to sleep. A week had passed, and I had forgotten all about this. I haven't seen my grandma in some time, so I decided to pay her a visit. My grandma was a very religious woman. She passed away last month and was unfortunately taken by dementia. Even then, it was so bad that she had constant visions of the wildest things. Most of the time, she didn't even know who we were. After spending some time with her, I leaned down to kiss her goodbye on her cheeks when she grabbed my hand with surprising strength and said, with complete lucidity, "The face in your car is watching you both. Tell your brother to be very careful returning home tonight." And after that, she went back to how she was before. Now, I loved my grandma very much, but given her condition, I couldn't help but feel extremely freaked out. My brother and his girlfriend were gone on a 2-day trip for her birthday and were on their way back at that time. I didn't want to freak them out, so even though I told my grandma I would, I didn't tell them a thing. When they returned later that night, they both looked like they had seen a ghost. I asked my brother what happened. He told me that they decided to stop at some point on their way back to rest for a bit. They were playing around in the car, doing normal couple things and taking dumb photos of each other. When my brother took a photo of his girlfriend, this is what he saw. In the reflection in the window behind her head is the face of a woman looking at them. It's not his girlfriend. Her face was facing the other way. My brother is a weirdo and a lover of the paranormal, so of course he kept the photo, but I'm literally covering the screen with one hand and typing with the other just to avoid looking at it. He told me they thought it was a weirdo on the outside of the car, so they immediately started the engine and left. Later that night, when his girlfriend was at her home and our mom was sound asleep, my brother came to my room. And for the first time in years, he looked scared. Truly scared. He told me that when he saw that thing, he immediately heard our mom's voice calling him from inside his head. Of course, he never said anything to his girlfriend or mom, but he felt like he could talk to me. And so I told him of my own experience of hearing mom's voice. The next day, we blessed the house, drank holy water, and the next Sunday, we both went to church after a long time. I still don't know what that thing was, but fortunately, neither of us has had any other supernatural encounters. I still don't know how my grandma knew of this. If in her state she had seen something. I guess I'll never know. So, at the top of Mary's email, she included a disclaimer that a disturbing photo was attached. And I thought, okay, how bad can it be? And it's pretty freaking uncomfortable. Sometimes when phantom faces appear in photos like this, you can usually blame pareidolia, which is our brain's tendency to interpret random things as significant. Our brains are programmed to look for faces and things for our safety. But in my opinion, this is clearly a face that Mary's grandmother somehow knew would appear. Maybe this face belonged to a very conservative spirit of some kind, making sure that Mary's brother and his girlfriend behaved. But the fact that both Mary and her brother heard their mom's voice makes me think that whatever the spirit was, it had been following both of them for a while.